form for many, many births and remained entranced before getting the opportunity to see the Supreme Lord face to face. As far as Dhruv Maharaj was concerned, he saw the Supreme Lord personally after only 6 months of practice in devotional service. He expected, therefore, that as soon as he met the Supreme Lord, the Lord would take him to his abode immediately, without waiting. Dhruv Maharaj could understand very clearly that the Lord had offered him the rule of the world for 36,000 years, because in the beginning he was under the spell of the material energy and wanted to take revenge against his stepmother and rule over his father's kingdom. Dhruva Maharaj greatly lamented his propensity for ruling the material world and his revengeful attitude towards other living entities. Om Akyantimirandasya Yanansalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathavitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Dalita Shri Vishaka Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Kam karoti vācālam pangam yat kripa tavam vande Shri Guru. Hare Krishna. So thank you, Madhuri Prabhu and the whole management, giving me chance again to speak and purify my heart. So this is a very beautiful verse. So Krishna has plans for all of us, and he has a desire for all of us. And what is his desire and plan? Anya abhilashita shunyam. That anya abhilashika. If we have any other desire, it should be zero. We shouldn't have any other desire. Jnana karmadi navritam. If we are trying to be jnani or karma kand, then we should drop it. Krishna is speaking in second chapter also to Arjuna that be careful, do not be attached to flowery words of Vedas and rise above all this. So that's his plan for us. And what else his plan is? Sarv dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me. So this is his plan. But unfortunately, we have our own plans and our desires. Dhruv Maharaj also had his plan. He wanted to become a king, and not only an ordinary king greater than his father, his grandfather. After coming in touch with his spiritual master, associating with his spiritual master, and following the instructions of his spiritual master, he is now lamenting that he simply wasted his time for broken pieces of glass. So setting up an example, basically, setting up an example for us so that we should also not waste our time on any other yoga process and simply become one with Krishna. And when I say one with Krishna, doesn't mean that we are becoming Krishna. Of course, we all know that in second chapter, Krishna has already disapproved. We cannot become Krishna. He has spoken about eternity and individuality of soul. And many other verses, soul is unchangeable. That means we cannot become Krishna. Our position will always remain like this. But when we say one with Krishna, this means that one with his desire, that whatever his desire should become our desire. Whatever his plan should become our plan. And that is how we enjoy. If we go against his desires, then we will suffer like or lament like how Dhruv Maharaj is suffering. Okay, we might get some sukh, but that could be sensual pleasure, pleasure for senses. But anand, we will not get anand, which is with the soul. So this is what Dhruv Maharaj is trying to explain. And all this, I was meditating, all this can be achieved simply by following the instructions of your spiritual master. Simply, we just have to have full faith in our spiritual master, and then we'll be happy. So we sing every day. Shri Guru Charane Rati, Aise Uttama Gati. So on Wednesday, Namanand Prabhu was speaking that we should be attached to our spiritual master. So this is, we are singing every day. Shri Guru Charane Rati, Aise Uttam Gati. This is the best position. Because then what happens? What is the benefit? Je prasade pure sarva asha. So he's not saying that little bit, but pure. Je prasade, prasad mercy. So when Guru's mercy is there, all our desires will be fulfilled. All, not partial, all our desires will be fulfilled. And what else we are singing? Jahar prasade bhai, e bhavatoriya jai. Jahar prasade, again prasad word is being used. Mercy. Where there's mercy of Guru, e bhavatoriya jai means this world is a very difficult place. At every step there is danger. Padam padam yat vipadam natesham. So, like we can see in this pastime, there's envy amongst each other, there's anger, there's greed, there's pride, insult. We can see in this pastime only how she's insulting him, that you cannot sit on the lap. Pride, I am beautiful. Pride that you have to take birth from my you have to take birth as my son. So all these things we can see. Anger, why are you even thinking of sitting? So all these things but if we follow the instructions, and if we under his guidance, if we practice devotional service, we will be indifferent to these things, and we'll speak about this later. But this is the benefit. And one more benefit, of course there are many benefits, but one more benefit, Krishna prapti hoye jahan hoye the. So this is how we attain Krishna prapti, not by any other thing. So we should have full faith on our spiritual master. We should have full faith on Srila Prabhupada, that whatever he has given us is enough for us to go back home, back to God. And that reminds me, this is spontaneous, that reminds me, we were with our Guru Maharaj in Jaipur. This was Jaipur Yatra. And, there was one brahmachari, and he was asking some very esoteric questions, about Swarup and about Radharani and this and that. So my Guru Maharaj kept saying, oh, he has no idea about this. And then later Maharaj said, have you read Bhagavad Gita by Srila Prabhupada? And he said, yes, twice. And he said, have you read Bhagavatam? He said, yes. Have you read Chaitanya Charitamrita? Yes. Have you read any other, all other books? Yes. And Guru Maharaj said, then you should read again, because that has everything for us to go back home, back to God. Okay, we might not become scholars, but in third chapter, I don't remember, one of the purpose Srila Prabhupada is writing that even these scholars, externally scholars, internally, privately, he uses the word privately, that they are also struggling with three modes of material nature. So what's the use if you are a scholar, but if you if you are still struggling and you don't have faith that devotional service can help us to come out of this, then what's the use? So we should have full faith that no other process can work. And let's now compare, because he says that others were practicing Ashtanga yoga. So imagine, if assume now, if we are starting with Ashtanga yoga, first of all, you have to look for a place, where, oh, first of all, you have to go alone to the forest, alone. You cannot take anything with you. Nothing means nothing. And then you have to look for a place in forest, which is not too raised, not too low. Then you have to look for a deer skin. You cannot kill a deer, otherwise this is sin. So you have to look for a skin of deer, which is like naturally dyed and then now ready to use, so to avoid insects and ants, they don't bite you. Then you have to sit in asana. You have to do all these yoga poses, and not for few minutes. You have to do it for hours and hours. So that is not practical, because now, in this Kali Yuga, our knees might pain. We might have lower back, ankle pain. So we cannot sit for hours and hours this yoga process. So basically, this process is not for everyone. Maybe just few out of millions, one or two might do this now, but otherwise, it's not practical. And what about ladies? Because ladies, they have to be always under protection of either your father, or after marriage husband, or unfortunately if the husband has died, then you have to be under the protection of son. And so how about them, if they want to supreme with this process? So this is not practical. Then how about gyan? Assume we now, okay, we want to go through gyan. So then first of all, the most difficult thing is that you have to read Vedas, we have to read Upanishads, but they all are in Sanskrit, and not everybody is interested in Sanskrit. And then, Sanskrit, one meaning can have several meanings. That means now you'll have to have spiritual master who might help you, and who knows if he's pure bona fide. Then next thing is, then you have to chant the mantras in meter. There's a proper meter rhythm. And if you don't do that, then again it's a problem. So this is also not practical. And also, you have to eat uh, without salt, because they believe that, we of course also believe that body is made up of senses. So we have to control our senses. But negation, this is not the way. Negation in ours, which we'll talk about later, now negation, we don't believe in negation, we believe in transformation. So this is not practical. But when we engage our senses in devotional service, the minute we are engaging our senses, immediately we are connected with Krishna. Why? Because Krishna is absolute. Krishna is absolute. There's no difference between in his name and him. There's no difference between his pastime. There's no difference between uh, his name, pastime, glories, paraphernalia. So the minute we are the minute we are chanting his name, we are connected with him. The minute we are seeing his form, we are immediately seeing him. So it's very, in all other processes, what happens is that first we have to purify our senses, and then we connect. And there's no even guarantee. I was hearing that Gyanis can go up to Brahman, or Ashtang yogis can go up to Paramatma. Or, very few, if they get mercy of pure devotee, then they might see Krishna. But otherwise, they usually go up to that level. But we immediately see Krishna, and we are connected with Krishna. So ours is more easier, practical. Anybody can do it faster. And this is what he's saying, that in 6 months, by practicing pure devotional service, he got the supreme. So we should practice devotional service under the guidance of spiritual master. And then now I want to say one thing very beautiful. Purnachandra Goswami Maharaj was explaining that how about those people who cannot even come to the level of Gyan and Ashtang? And then he was mentioning Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan was explaining that how about Mrigrari? We all know Mrigrari. He was a hunter. Now, hunter cannot come to the position of Gyan and Ashtang. So, how about him? So, and we know how cruel he was. He was killing uh, all the animals half killed. It's very painful. So, imagine how tamasic buddhi he must be having. But by coming in association with his guru, Narad Muni, and following the instructions 100%, he became a Vaishnava to the extent that he was afraid not to step on any ant. Think about this. So, who's going to help these people? And then, how about Lakshahira? She was a prostitute and she wanted Haridas Thakur to fall down. But then, how? Just by following the instructions and coming in contact with him, hearing the holy name, she also became purified. We have so many. How about Valmiki? He was not even to chant the name of Lord Ram, but his Guru Maharaj adjusted the instructions and told him, okay, you are used to saying Mara Mara, so chant Mara Mara. So by chanting Mara 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 Mara, it became Ram and he purified. And we all know. So, and then Purnachandra Goswami Maharaj was telling something about ISKCON, something about the power of Srila Prabhupada. So he was saying that there was one man who used to be on the streets and literally waiting for Harinam party to come. So then the Harinam party would come and they would distribute books. And so they would approach this man and say, would you like to take a book? And he would take the book. And then the distributor would say, would you like to give some donation? So he would say, no, because you said this is yours now. Why would I give you anything? So the distributor would say, no, no, some donation, to help the temple, something, And you know what he would do? He would tear the book like this, like this, and throw on their face and quickly change the side of the road and wait for the another party to come. So then the other party would come and he would do the same thing. And he was doing for months like this. So he had become famous for doing this. And Maharaj was saying, we will not believe this, that later on he became a devotee, and not only a devotee, he became a sannyasi in ISKCON just by touching the books written by Srila Prabhupada. And of course, he's writing Krishna's message. That is the power of Srila Prabhupada in his books and parampara. Just by touching, he became so purified that he started taking association with devotees. He started to read, and he became a sannyasi. So unbelievable. So we should have full faith that um simply by following devotional practice, service under the guidance of spiritual master, we all will be purified. And one time I heard somebody was asking Maharaj, Purnachandra Goswami Maharaj, that how does it work actually? How does it work? So he was beautifully explaining that we see lotus, lotus, and then lotus has a stem. So if you see externally, it has only stem, but we don't know how the lotus is taking water. But if you cut the stem, then you will see there are small capillaries, working inside internally, So similarly, he was saying that when we follow the instructions, mm, there is blessings of Krishna, there's blessings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there's blessing of our spiritual master, all acharyas, in parampara, they all are blessing us, and it becomes very easy for us to follow. And then when we follow, we do our duties, prescribed duties. Then there's a package of gyan, knowledge, spiritual knowledge, and detachment, and that starts to work on us. We don't know how it works, but this very mysterious. It starts to work on us, and then gradually we are elevated. So that is why we should have full faith that we have to practice devotional service under the guidance of spiritual master. So, and also it's today is Parents' Day of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. So I'll just stop here in case any correction, any comment, any question you can do, or I want to speak few more minutes. One very important point on Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. So then I'll continue. But if you have any questions, any comments, please go ahead. I'll try. So should I speak about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj?
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So at that time, this Vaishnavism was in trouble because unfortunately, even Vaishnavas were not practicing properly. So, and we know at that time there were Grhastas and there were Babajis, and especially Babajis, in the name of being Babajis, they were doing all activities which we are not supposed to do. And we know the example, like how when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj's spiritual master Gorkishore Das Babaji disappeared from this world, and then they all were fighting about his samadhi, that where his samadhi would be. So everybody was crying, and fake crying, so and they were saying, Babaji belongs to me, Guru Maharaj belongs to me. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj said, fine, you all have taken a vow to remain Babaji, to remain pure. Anybody who has not touched a woman in 1 month's time can take the body. And everybody was like silent. Then he said, anybody who has not touched a woman in one week's time can please take the body. And everybody was silent. And then anybody who has not touched a woman for 3 days, in 3 days time, can touch Guru Maharaj's body. So everybody was silent. So this was the condition. So what I like about, of course, everything is good about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, but I personally meditate on that. He was the one who brought or who re-established Varnashram again, and we are practicing that because he understood that, okay, if we are not married and we are not transcendental, still we are struggling with our senses, then we cannot be Babajis. Then we should be brahmacharis, and then there are rules and regulations for brahmacharis to practice. And if you are not able to do, then there's a chance, then okay, you can become a grasta, and there are rules and regulations. And then, then there's vanaprasth, and then there's sannyasi. But he saved Vaishnavism. He never wanted people to uh, to blaspheme, because like I said, what people were doing. So now it makes sense to me so much that why Krishna in third chapter is saying, don't be a mithyachari, don't be a pretender, because this thing was happening, that people were taking sannyas, people were becoming Babajis, but they were not fully transcendental. So he was the one who brought this. This is amazing. So he's not only saving our philosophy, our Vaishnavism, but he's also saving people outside. So don't do this sinful activities, and get rid of sinful reactions, in case if people were following that. So I really like this point. So on this day, I'm just praying to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj that please, purify my heart also, and I can also follow um, uh, devotional service. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any comments or just?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Very nice class. I really like that point you were mentioning about that Brahmachari was asking questions, and then like his Guru, your Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Kadambakanand Maharaj said you should read the books, right? Uh, though we read so many times, but every time when we read, we get the new meanings also,
Right.
and then all our questions also get answered. Yeah, Prabhupada explains so nicely. Each purport is so beautiful. We don't need like that the question doesn't come. First thing, after reading scrutinizingly Srila Prabhupada's book, like each purport, each word, even he Sanskrit he translated word to word translation, then translation and purport. One verse, at least one verse, scrutinizingly, if we read properly, and then we don't get any questions, like all doubts get clear. So it happens, Prabhuji, when we go outside or when we talk with people for book distribution, they ask all these questions. Then we can tell them, read these books, what Srila Prabhupada is trying to tell. So, so much gratitude for our dear Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji. Hari Bol. Very nicely explained, Prabhuji, everything.
Mataji.
We still have a couple of minutes if anybody would like to reflect on Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj.
If nobody wants to talk, can I share, Prabhuji?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I really like about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. He was very scholar. He one time he reads, he can means his memory was capturing everything. His vocabulary also. British also they were seeing the meaning of the word what he used in dictionary, and one determination like that mango thing, right? The father brought the mango Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and he ate just without offering, and his father said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, no, you should not eat. So after that, he just left. He didn't eat mangoes, though it is a king of fruits. And it looks beautiful, it tastes beautiful, but he just whole life he didn't eat. So that much determination we should learn from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah. Good example.
Hare Krishna. Sorry.
Go ahead, Amritabha.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu's Mataji's, please accept humble obeisance. All Krishna Srila Prabhupada. On Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj appearance day, Prabhu, one instruction comes to mind. Hope we can follow that. Maharaj says, when the fault in others delude you, overwhelm you, stop, introspect, find faults in yourself. Nobody can hurt you if you don't hurt yourself. So this is especially in our relationships, because there is friction. Just because everyone is on the path of bhakti doesn't mean it's hunky-dory. And, there will be friction, butting of heads. And we look at, oh, this person is this way, that way, not doing this, not whatever. Day-to-day things. But introspection, nobody is perfect. The introspection one makes, then that makes us, when we see how much holes we have in ourselves, then we'll focus on fixing that and not really finger pointing others. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank you, Amritabha. Yeah, good instructions from Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. The mango thing, the determination. Another lesson which we learn from that, apart from the determination, is how we don't eye on preparations which we make for the Lord. That, oh, okay, after the Mahaprasad, I will try to get this, I will try to get that. And whenever we think like that, we should remember Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj's instruction, an example that how he left eating mango throughout his life. We might end up giving up eating everything, but at least we should imbibe this teaching in our day-to-day operation. Another instruction which I just wanted to reflect was on the kirtan, since we are grooming up for this kirtan next weekend, where Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, for him kirtan, he would at times get somebody who is not singing that melodiously, but singing out of devotion to sing kirtan. Because Kirtan is all about expressing your devotion to the Supreme Lord, not about how um, melodiously you can sing and be glorified. So that's another thing which comes in mind on this very special day. Okay. We'd like to wish you all a happy and Krishna conscious day and weekend ahead. Very special day. The appearance of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, fasting till noon, followed by Grain Prasadam. We'll be having a short program at the temple around noon with Pushpanjali and feast. So whoever can come, are most welcome. That will be at noon. On that note, it's also the disappearance day of Gaur Gobind Maharaj, senior disciple of our founder Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who left years back on this very auspicious day at Srila Mayapur. Yeah. We like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord. We will offer these prayers for our dear Gaur Prem Prabhu, who passed away on Wednesday, and his funeral is on coming Monday. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Ram Hare
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 Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Rama
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Jai Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Jai Jai Nrsimha, Praladesha, Jaya
Jaya
Padma,
Padma
Padma Bhringa,
Padma Bringam,
Ugra Veeram,
Ugra Veera Maha
Varundam Sarvatomukam,
Mukham,
Nrsimham
Nasika
Vishnu,
Bhushanam
Nityam
Bhadram
Namamiham.
Namamiham.
Nrsimha Bhagwan ki Jai, Prahlad
Jai,
ki Jai.
Jai.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. Vancha kalpataru
Varita
kripa
Kalpataru Kripa
sindhubhaya vacha
Patitanam
patitanam
Pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
namaha. वैष्णविंद की
Jai.
ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय,
Jai.
शिला प्रभुपाद की जय,
Jai.
भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती महाराज आविर्भाव महोत्सव की
Jai
Jai.
गौर प्रेमानंदे।
Hari
Hare
Hari
Hari
Bo.
Bol.
Thank you, Bhakta.
Thank you Bhaktivinoda
Thank you,
Prabhu.
everyone.
Had
Thank
nice
you,
class.
everyone.
Thank you Hari Bol.
Hare Hari Bo.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.